When it comes to dairy farmers making strategic decisions, are we doing enough on the innovation front to make these choices feel operational? I've been speaking to dairy farmers and industry at the largest dairy farmer conference, the ADC, down here at the Melbourne Convention Centre over the last couple of days. It has been incredible speaking to as many trade as possible and farmers. I've been trying to explore this theme of, do farmers have the capacity to make strategic decisions, or are we so caught up with making operational decisions in the day-to-day things? Have we got the capacity to stand back and make strategic decisions? And this is what I just wanted to cover and have a quick chat about now. It's been reported that farmers want to adopt innovation. And I notice here that the trade, there's everything from robot milking pumps to John Deere tractors to all sorts of innovation that covers every area of industry. There's ways for farmers to improve their efficiencies. And as expected, the industry wants farmers to adopt innovation. And so I've been exploring and having discussions that if they're not adopting innovation, and if it's not cost, then what is the reason? Why are farmers not adopting innovation? And there was some actually quite a really cool common theme that has been coming through. What the trade and what farmers have been sharing with me, and this is particularly for dairy farmers, is that in a dairy farmer's day, there is probably only a 30-minute window to make a decision. And whether that's strategic or operational, there's only a 30-minute time frame. One trade that I spoke to said, farmers are just tired. They're falling asleep at the dinner table at night with their kids. And so if a farmer is 8 out of 10 tired, do they have the capacity to actually make a strategic decision? What I'm learning is that industry is promoting the adopting of innovation has actually been a really big decision. And that perhaps is part of the issue here. There's risk, there's cost, there's making decisions at the beginning when you may not know quite what it is. Ultimately, I think every farmer is wanting to make those innovation choices to free up their time, but they're not quite sure how to do that. Another large brand shared with me that they've had to develop account managers that might be responsible to that farmer for a whole year to work with that farmer in order to make a decision. And what they were sharing with me is that that farmer actually may not need an account manager. It just takes a certain period of time, let's say 20 hours. It just takes 20 hours in order to make a strategic decision. And that over that period of time, it might only be a 15-minute phone call every fortnight or every 3 weeks or every month or so, but it still takes a period of time until that decision is made. That may not need to be made by an account manager, and I'm not trying to jump in and say we don't need account managers. It's that it's recognizing why that particular farmer or grower may not be able to have capacity to make that decision. And a context for that might be separate to the farming. Would we sit around normally in a household of an evening and in 10 minutes decide, are we going to go on a European holiday and then book that holiday and go, or are we going to buy a new car and then go out and buy that car right away in that 10-minute period? And so, of course not. Of course, we're not going to make a large strategic decision in that period of time. Is the dairy industry really doing enough to make sure that we're selling the adopting of strategic innovation in an operational way and making it more feel like it's more achievable and attainable for a farmer to do? I had another person say a cognitive window in order to make a decision. And I had to reflect on that for a little bit. And it probably took a whole time between morning tea and lunch to actually reflect on this cognitive window in order to make a decision. And that doesn't have to be 20 hours. It doesn't have to be a whole year. It's just the time that you can actually focus on making a decision. Here's what I've learned from ADC 2026 down here in Melbourne at the Convention Centre. I actually don't believe that innovation adoption is based on price. I feel, and this is based on everything that I've been speaking to farmers and trade about, is that the innovation needs to be in designing the decision-making process